The perimeters effect. Tuning in to make smarter decisions. Imagine for a moment that you are the essential 12th juror in a court of law, entrusted with shaping the direction of others' lives. This weighty responsibility necessitates making the right call, ascertaining what is just, fair, and reasonable. While many decisions may be correct, errors can be disproportionately damaging, leading to cascading negative consequences. As decision makers, we operate in a complex and noisy world, bombarded by a constant stream of information, distractions, and disinformation. This overwhelming environment makes it challenging to tune in to what truly matters, leading to misjudgment. The most underestimated risk facing modern society isn't economic, political, or even climate risk. It's human decision risk, triggered by our tendency to tune out what really matters. This speech explores the concept of the perimeters effect, a framework for understanding and overcoming the common judgment traps that hinder our ability to make sound decisions. By understanding these traps, we can become more aware of our own biases and make more informed choices in all aspects of our lives. Part 1. Misjudgment in a noisy world. We live in a world where we hear less than ever. Despite having countless platforms to express our voices, we are drowning in a sea of data, distraction, and disinformation. This overload makes it increasingly difficult to discern valuable information from noise, impacting our ability to make sound judgments. Data overload. The volume of data we encounter daily has exponentially increased, competing for our limited attention spans. We are constantly bombarded with notifications, news feeds, and lengthy reports, leaving us overwhelmed and unable to process information effectively. Distraction. Our hyper-connected world is rife with distractions, from social media to the constant pings of our devices. These interruptions fragment our attention and make it challenging to maintain focus on critical tasks. Disinformation. The spread of false or misleading information further complicates decision-making. It becomes difficult to distinguish truth from falsehood, particularly with the rise of sophisticated manipulation techniques like AI deepfakes. This challenging environment breeds inattention, impacting our ability to process information accurately and make informed decisions. Inattentional deafness. When we focus intently on a visual task, we may become deaf to auditory stimuli, missing crucial information and instructions. This phenomenon can have serious consequences, particularly in high-stakes situations. Shrinking concentration. The constant barrage of stimuli has contributed to a decline in our collective attention spans. We struggle to focus for extended periods, leading to errors and missed details. Social crisis of inattention. Factors like sleep deprivation, stress, and an over-reliance on technology have exacerbated the problem of inattention, potentially leading to a societal crisis where crucial information is routinely overlooked. This misjudgment stems from a trilogy of errors: psychological blind spots, deaf spots, and dumb spots. Blind spots represent the information we fail to see or acknowledge due to biases and preconceived notions. We selectively filter information, focusing on what confirms our existing beliefs and ignoring contradictory evidence. Deaf spots arise when we fail to hear or process information that contradicts our worldview. This selective hearing can lead to the dismissal of valuable insights and warnings, even from credible sources. Dumb spots occur when we fail to speak up, even when we possess critical information or recognize a potential problem. This silence can stem from fear, conformity, or a misplaced sense of loyalty, allowing mistakes to persist and escalate. Part 2. The perimeters judgment traps. The perimeters effect highlights the specific judgment traps that distort our perception and hinder our ability to make sound decisions. By understanding these traps, we can learn to identify and mitigate their influence, improving our decision-making processes. Power. The pursuit and possession of power can significantly distort judgment. When individuals become preoccupied with gaining or maintaining power, their perspective narrows, and they may become deaf to dissenting voices or alternative viewpoints. Narrow focus. The single-minded pursuit of power can blind individuals to important information and limit their ability to consider a wide range of options. Authority bias. We tend to overvalue the opinions and directives of those in positions of authority, even when their expertise is questionable. This deference to authority can stifle critical thinking and lead to poor decisions. Halo effect. We often attribute positive qualities to individuals we admire or perceive as successful. This bias can cloud our judgment, leading us to overlook potential flaws or red flags. Just world hypothesis. We often believe that the world is inherently fair and that individuals get what they deserve. This belief can lead us to blame victims and excuse wrongdoers, hindering our ability to assess situations objectively. Ego. Ego-driven biases can lead to overconfidence, self-absorption, and a reluctance to acknowledge mistakes. When individuals prioritize their own image and self-preservation over objective analysis, their judgment suffers. Over-talking. Individuals with inflated egos often dominate conversations, prioritizing their own voice over listening to others. This self-centered approach limits opportunities for learning and collaboration. Overconfidence. Overconfidence can lead individuals to overestimate their abilities and underestimate risks, resulting in reckless decisions. Ignoring contrary views. Ego can make individuals resistant to feedback or criticism, preventing them from considering alternative perspectives or challenging their own assumptions. Risk. Our perception and tolerance of risk can significantly impact our decisions. Risk-averse individuals may shy away from potentially beneficial opportunities, while those who underestimate risk may make reckless choices with potentially disastrous consequences. Underestimating risk. Individuals may downplay or ignore potential risks, particularly when they are driven by optimism or a desire to achieve specific goals. Loss aversion. We tend to feel the pain of a loss more strongly than the pleasure of an equivalent gain. This asymmetry can lead to overly conservative decisions as we prioritize avoiding losses over pursuing potential gains. Sunk cost fallacy. We often persist with failing ventures or investments because we have already invested significant time, money, or effort. This reluctance to cut losses can lead to further financial or emotional damage. Identity. Our personal and social identities shape our perceptions and influence our decisions. We tend to align ourselves with groups that share our values and beliefs, potentially leading to in-group bias and a reluctance to consider alternative perspectives. Impression management. We often prioritize maintaining a positive image, leading us to conform to social norms or suppress our true opinions. This desire to fit in can hinder our ability to make authentic and independent decisions. Perfectionism. The pursuit of perfection can be paralyzing, leading to procrastination and a fear of failure. Perfectionists may struggle to make decisions as they constantly seek the ideal solution. Identity labels. We often adopt labels that define our roles or affiliations. These labels can limit our perspective, making it difficult to consider options that fall outside of our perceived identity. And memory. Our memories are fallible and susceptible to biases and distortions. We may misremember events, selectively recall information that supports our beliefs, or be influenced by the way information is presented. Salience bias. We tend to remember vivid or emotionally charged events more easily than mundane ones. This bias can lead us to overestimate the likelihood of rare events or make decisions based on anecdotal evidence rather than statistical data. Primacy and recency effects. We often recall information presented at the beginning or end of a sequence more readily than information presented in the middle. This bias can influence our perception of events and our overall judgments. Repetition effect. Repeated exposure to a message or idea can increase its perceived credibility, even if the information is false or misleading. This effect is commonly exploited in advertising and propaganda. Emotions. Emotions play a powerful role in decision-making. While emotions can provide valuable insights, they can also cloud our judgment and lead to impulsive or irrational choices. Strong emotions. Intense emotions like fear, anger, or excitement can narrow our focus and lead to impulsive decisions. In these moments, we may prioritize immediate gratification over long-term consequences. Emotional contagion. We are influenced by the emotions of those around us. This phenomenon can lead to groupthink or herd behavior as individuals conform to the prevailing emotional tone. Positive illusions. We often maintain unrealistically positive views of ourselves and our abilities. These illusions can boost our confidence, but can also lead to overconfidence and poor decision-making. Tea time. Our perception of time and our tendency to prioritize immediate gratification over future rewards can impact our decisions. We may make choices that benefit us in the short term but have negative long-term consequences. Present bias. We tend to overvalue immediate rewards and discount future consequences. This bias can lead to procrastination, impulsive spending, and a failure to plan for the future. Projection bias. We often assume that our future preferences and values will align with our current ones. This bias can lead to poor decisions as we fail to anticipate changes in our circumstances or priorities. Hyperbolic discounting. We tend to discount future rewards more steeply as the delay increases. This means that we are more likely to choose a smaller, immediate reward over a larger, delayed reward, even if the larger reward is objectively more valuable. Expectations. Our expectations can influence our perceptions and shape our experiences. We tend to see what we expect to see and interpret information in a way that confirms our existing beliefs. Confirmation bias. We selectively seek and interpret information that confirms our existing beliefs. This bias can lead us to ignore contradictory evidence and make decisions based on incomplete or inaccurate information. Self-fulfilling prophecies. Our beliefs and expectations can influence our behavior in a way that makes those beliefs come true. For example, if we expect to fail at a task, we may put in less effort, increasing the likelihood of failure. Placebo effect. Our beliefs about the effectiveness of a treatment can influence its actual effectiveness. This phenomenon highlights the power of expectations to shape our experiences. Relationships. Our relationships with others can significantly impact our decisions. We are influenced by the opinions of those we trust and admire, and we may conform to group norms, even when those norms conflict with our own values. Social proof. We tend to look to others for guidance on how to behave, particularly in unfamiliar situations. This tendency can lead to conformity as we adopt the behaviors and opinions of those around us. In group bias, we tend to favor individuals who belong to our own social groups. This bias can lead to discrimination and a reluctance to consider alternative perspectives. Groupthink. In cohesive groups, individuals may suppress dissenting opinions in order to maintain group harmony. This phenomenon can lead to poor decision-making, as critical information is ignored or dismissed. Stories. We are drawn to stories and narratives, and we often interpret information in a way that fits a compelling narrative. While stories can be powerful tools for communication and persuasion, they can also distort our perception and lead to biased decision-making. Narrative fallacy. We tend to impose order and meaning on random events, creating narratives that explain the world in a way that feels satisfying. This tendency can lead us to see patterns where none exist and make decisions based on incomplete or inaccurate information. Availability heuristic. We often overestimate the likelihood of events that are easy to recall or imagine. This bias can lead to irrational fears and anxieties as we prioritize vivid but rare events over more common but less memorable ones. Part 3. Tuning in. Just-in-time judgment. By understanding the perimeters, traps, and the biases they trigger, we can develop strategies to overcome their influence and make more informed decisions. This requires conscious effort and a willingness to challenge our own assumptions and beliefs. Sonic strategies. Slow down. Taking time to pause and reflect before making a decision allows us to process information more thoroughly and consider a wider range of options. It helps to counteract impulsive choices driven by emotions or biases. Pause and reflect. Deliberately taking a break before making a decision allows us to step back from the situation and consider alternative perspectives. Avoid rush to judgment. Resisting the pressure to make quick decisions can help us avoid mistakes and make more considered choices. Strategic procrastination. Delaying a decision can sometimes be beneficial, allowing us to gather more information or gain a clearer understanding of the situation. Observe. Paying attention to our surroundings and carefully considering all available information helps to reduce the influence of biases and improve the accuracy of our judgments. Seek contrary views. Actively seeking out perspectives that challenge our own assumptions can broaden our understanding and help us identify potential blind spots. Consider the source. Evaluating the credibility and biases of information sources can help us determine the reliability of the information we receive. Devil's advocate. Playing devil's advocate by challenging the prevailing opinion can help to uncover flaws in logic or identify alternative solutions. And navigate novel perspectives. Actively seeking out diverse perspectives and considering alternative viewpoints helps to overcome narrow thinking and promote more informed and equitable decision-making. Embrace diversity. Engaging with individuals from different backgrounds and experiences can broaden our understanding and help us make more inclusive decisions. Challenge assumptions. Questioning our own beliefs and considering alternative possibilities can help us avoid confirmation bias and make more objective judgments. Seek common ground. Focusing on shared values and goals can help to bridge divides and facilitate constructive dialogue. Interpret. Carefully analyzing and interpreting information, considering both verbal and non-verbal cues, helps to improve our understanding of the situation and make more accurate judgments. Decode non-verbal cues. Paying attention to body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions can provide valuable insights into individuals' true feelings and intentions. Consider context. Interpreting information within its appropriate context can help us avoid misinterpretations and make more informed decisions. Seek clarification. Don't be afraid to ask questions or seek clarification when information is unclear or ambiguous. Communicate. Effective communication is essential for sharing information, building consensus, and ensuring that our decisions are understood and supported by others. Active listening. Engaging in active listening by paying attention, asking clarifying questions, and summarizing key points demonstrates respect and improves understanding. Clear and concise language. Using clear and concise language helps to avoid misunderstandings and ensure that our message is effectively conveyed. Seek feedback. Soliciting feedback from others can help us identify areas for improvement and ensure that our communication is effective. By implementing these sonic strategies, we can enhance our ability to hear what matters, make smarter decisions, and navigate the complexities of our modern world. Embracing the role of the 12th juror. The concept of the 12th juror serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of responsible decision-making. Each of us has the potential to influence the lives of others through our choices. By cultivating awareness of our own biases and actively seeking out diverse perspectives, we can make decisions that are fair, just, and beneficial to all. In a world where misjudgment is rising alongside opportunity, tuning in is not just a choice, but a necessity. By embracing the principles of the perimeter's effect and implementing the sonic strategies, we can become more astute decision makers, contributing to a more just and equitable world.